That was a traumatic evening all round, wasn't it?
It certainly was.
Jekyll and Hyde from Celtic, hide and seek from Rangers, and rawhide for Aberdeen, who get their bum smacked all over Athens. And for a moment,
they can just stay in hiding.
And for a moment, and Fraser's obviously outside Celtic Park just now, about to jump into the mix zone, so we'll get straight to him. But for a moment at Celtic Park, I think for the first half hour, it looked as if it was just going to be, an absolute horror story of an evening all round a week before Halloween. But there you go. Celtic managed to turn it around, showed a bit of guts, character. And Fraser, it feels like the mood is up a little bit on the final whistle.
Not to drag this car theme out too much for last week, lads, but that was heading towards a right car crash for Scottish football tonight. But a bit of civic pride restored, thankfully, here at Celtic Park. Keith's right, the first half. Do you know what? I thought the first half Celtic looked good up to a point. They were undone by an absolute wonder strike that did come from their own kind of sloppy passage of play. But I thought they looked through to Netgate. I thought Arne Engels looked in the mood tonight. I thought they actually looked good up to a point, and it's that same point as we've been going on about for weeks. Just the lack of a striker, a lack of a killer instinct in front of goal. The sight of Kelechi Iheanacho hobbling off after a couple of minutes, quickly followed by poor Alistair Johnston, who was only making his first appearance in 2 or 3 months. It just looked like the roof was about to cave in the Celtic again. But fair play to them. Came out the second half. I didn't think they deserved to be a goal behind at half-time. Up the gears in the second half. A couple of fantastic goals. Again, didn't come from the strikers. They had to go with Johnny Kenny when Iheanacho came off. And doesn't quite look like he finished the article, especially when he was going clean through and goal a couple of times in the first half. But you know what? They went up through the gears in the second half, took control of the game, and I've got to be honest, I think Celtic were very comfortable winners in the end up, Keith.
Yeah, I agree. My one concern, another major concern was right at the death on the final whistle. It looked as if Cameron Carter-Vickers had gone down with something. I guess that's something that the boys will be asking Brendan Rodgers about. But, if Cameron Carter-Vickers has got a bad one, I'm astonished, by the way, that Cal McGregor managed to see the game out. Yeah. And then you've got hamstring issues for Iheanacho. And we said the other night, didn't we? They're a hamstring injury away for Iheanacho, and they've got a serious problem up top. So as much as I think Brendan Rodgers will be delighted with the character and the guts that were displayed there tonight, there's some serious running repairs going to be required here, it looks, by the looks of it. What did you see? Did you see what happened with Cameron Carter-Vickers at the end, Fraser?
I didn't see what happened because I was running down the stairs to join you, so you tell me. I left in 90 minutes, so I missed injury time so I could join you guys. Hopefully they let me back in for the mix zone as well. But no idea. We'll find out. I think Mick Gannon's doing the manager and I'm doing some players, so that'll come out soon enough. I was with you when Callum McGregor went down after that red card incident. That looked a real nasty one in real time, just to the bare eye here. And
I was thinking, in slow motion, mate.
Did it? It just looked like a studs up job, and they kicked into the studs. That's what it looked like from up in the stand. And I thought, the Hearts camp will be rubbing their hands at this ahead of Sunday. But Celtic players falling like flies. But no, it's made us stir the stuff, isn't it, the skipper? The last thing Celtic need at this moment in time is losing Callum McGregor, because I don't care what anyone says at this moment in time, he is still the engine of this Celtic team. They need him badly, and for their sake, they've got to hope he's fit for Sunday.
Yeah, agreed.
Fraser, I know you've got post-match duties to get on with. Hopefully they'll let you back in, but I'll let you go for now. Thanks for joining.
I thought Arne Engels was good tonight. Back in. I thought the deliveries were absolutely on point. Every corner he took caused havoc. I think they've got to find a way to get Arne Engels back into the team regularly. £11 million player there. He can't complain about not being given a budget in transfer markets when you sign a player for £11 million a year before and don't play him. So I thought he looked more like himself tonight, and expect him to be back in there on Sunday again.
Completely agree. Fraser, thanks again.
Okay, guys. Cheers.
Cheers, Fraser. Fraser isn't the only one, Keith, who is lauding Arne Engels. Some of the fans are sending comments in. And if you want to get involved in tonight's show, please do so. Let us know your thoughts on Celtic's win and Rangers and Aberdeen's pretty woeful defeats. Craig says, Keith, Rodgers is shockingly when a guy like Engels out. He's not been worse than any other player and showed tonight why he's £9 million worth. John says it's about time Celtic up the tempo for a game. Obi-Pon Kenobi says, shades of Celtic but worrying injuries. If Kenny had a finish, he could have had 3 tonight. Nygren played his best game. Genghis says, showed grit and fight tonight, but should be wary of getting too carried away. Sturm Graz didn't look great. Canadian Hammer's another one saying Kenny should have scored 3. Celtic need a striker. Basically, Celtic fans pretty happy, but we should have won by more.
Yeah, I mean, look, do you know what? Fine margins in these games. If Benjamin Nygren didn't have a head like a Swedish toaster, Celtic could have won that by 4 or 5. But equally, you know, Sturm Graz hit the post in the first half at a point in the game. And I thought Celtic were slow out the blocks again for half an hour. They got into their stride the longer the first half went on, and they kind of picked up there in the second half. But, you know, there was still some issues. It's still not the sort of intensity that Brendan Rodgers would be looking for in terms of the performance. I thought they were sluggish in that first half an hour. They go a goal behind, but it was a good response. And, you know, it's 3 points on the board, which is massive in terms of trying to get qualification. And it's also, you know, a little bit, a crumb of comfort for Scotland's coefficient into the bargain. So, yeah, a lot for Brendan Rodgers to feel better about after that performance tonight. I think there was a reconnection with the supporters.
Yep.
When Celtic did get up to speed, it felt much more like a European night at Celtic Park. So that's all in the positive kind of channel. But there were some negatives there again. I do agree with Fraser. I thought that was the best I've seen Arne Engels in a long time. And we kind of suspected he would do something tactically or strategically. We start in 11 tonight, Brendan Rodgers, and that was to get Engels into the midfield, push Nygren out onto the right hand side. Bits of that worked, bits of it didn't. And down the left hand side was where all the real threat was coming from. And I think one of the massive positives for Celtic was Kieran Tierney, because that was far more like the Kieran Tierney that Celtic fans remember. And he's linking up really well there with Tonetke. And, you know, that's really promising. If the pair of them start to get a relationship working on that left flank, because they were causing all sorts of problems. And in parts of the game when Celtic weren't playing well, the two of them were always threatening, always getting forward and always probing. So that's encouraging as well.
In the comments, Berzuno says we look like a souped-up Ford Fiesta in that second half. Progress. William Sloan is one of a few people, though, talking about Johnny Kenny now. Obviously, looks like it will be him starting against Hearts on Sunday, perhaps. But Shin Yamada. Wait, what happened to Shin Yamada? I thought when Shin first came on in the Old Firm game, didn't he? I thought he did okay. He's just disappeared from matchday squads.
He's just one that Brendan Rodgers clearly doesn't fancy, Daniel. And, you know, it's not for the first time he's been given players that he just decides that they're just not first team ready. You'll need to get called up though now, won't you? You'll need to be involved if because it looks. Do you know what I think? I think that Brendan Rodgers took a bit of a gamble, and a massive gamble. You don't go down after a minute and a half of a game unless there was a concern there, and it looked as if Ian actually knew right away that, you know, something that was troubling him had clearly sort of panicked him early in the game. Now, has he got off early enough that he's not done serious damage? But even if it's just a tweak, it's going to make him a doubt for the weekend.